Hello, welcome to the channel, welcome back to the channel. Today, a little bit different. I'm not working with the wagons today. I am actually doing a time belt and a service on Kim's new Volvo. Yeah, we're a Volvo family again now. I've got the S40, she's got the V40. Yes, hers is better, but that's not the point. It is nice though, it is a really nice car. They're a really well done car, I love them. Dad just started the F7 up. Let's go and have a look. Got the M&Ox on, see how Kim's car is the 2-litre 150 D3. It's 150 horsepower, 5-pot. It's silky smooth to drive, 6-speed manual. It's just lovely, like. Full leather, lux spec interior, so it's got all the nav and everything in it. But yeah, so I'm going to be getting on to doing the time built on this today. Let's see how we get on. Should probably just edit this in the middle of the video, into the beginning of the video. So, the reason for changing cam belts, if you don't know, is they are what connects the top of the engine and the bottom of the engine together, essentially. It makes it all run in sync. So, if you imagine if it doesn't run in sync, it smacks each other and writes your engine off. Where, especially when you're buying a car, you should always see if the belt's been done. And if the belt hasn't been done, check the timing on it. Check when it should be due. Or, if you can afford to, do it straight away. Then you know, peace of mind. Instead of writing a £2,000–3,000 engine off for the sake of £500 labour. Roughly, that's a very rough guess. Could be more, could be less. Belts are expensive. Some dealers, not all of them, will say, oh, it's not due yet. Like this car is got 85,000 miles on it. So mileage-wise, this belt's not due. But there's time limits on them. You should change them. Manufacturers usually reckon every 10 years. I like to do it 5, just to be safe, if you can. But this one hasn't been done. And he said, oh, it doesn't need changing. It's only done 85,000 miles, they're due 120. Or every 10 years. So yes, always be wary of that. Always be wary of that. I don't want anyone actually going out and thinking, oh yeah, I've got another 20,000 miles left on my time belt. They are time critical. So I've got the car on the lift, I've taken the wheel off. And just taking all the torque suit, I think that's here, 25s. Hit the easy, get the arch liner out. Then once the arch liner's out, I need to take the under tray off underneath. And then I can get access to in here so I can get to the pulleys. The screws out, the old torque suit. There's a 10mm plug-in out there. There's also a pluggy pop ribbity type thing. Push the center and that should just pop out the trim tool in. There we go. Once the arch liner's out, you can see I've also pulled out this foam trim from in here because I'm going to clean this out and under seal that in there. Clean up and under seal in here as well. Just stops it getting rusty, or prevents it going rusty, should I say. Nothing ever stops it, but whatever. Just stacking this belt off, stacking that tensioner off like that, and that belt will come off for the aircon, and then it'll be very similar for doing the tensioner on the secondary belt, but also. It's always worth drawing a diagram or taking a picture of which way the belts go, because you say you'll remember, but you never do. I made a little diagram. Crank to aircon compressor, and then aircon compressor runs alternator. It's much easier than most belts I've ever done, like, but get that bottom pulley off now. 30mm socket. Get the gun on it, buzz this off. That's bottom auxiliary pulley off. Big 30, 40 13s, then wiggle it off that roll pin. So taking the under tray off, and now I'm going to drop the battery out of it because doing the cam belt and water pump. That's the drain there. I've taken the lid off the header tank, otherwise it'll take forever to drain. Right, turn that and wiggle it, and the water will come up to there. The water's out of it, header tank's off, that just pulls up. There is on this one, there is this pushy clip in the top, and one of these evil clips on the bottom. Engine mounts off, well, first I've got the jack underneath with a rubber pad on the edge of the sump, just to hold the engine up, so it supports it. So that's that one. I need to take this one off. That and that'll come off. That and that one, that'll come off. And just take all the engine mounts out, and it should give us access to get to the belt cover. So what I've done is I've taken the top one off, taking the dog leg rubber bush out. It's on these three here, they're 15s, that's a 15. Two 15s with out at the bottom there, that one and that one. 15 out here and here. So these are the short ones that go into there. The long ones come out of here. And there's a final 13 on the top. Doesn't always look up that way. There we go. Close that off. And that'll lift off like that. Yeah, that lifts off like that. And this one lifts up like that. Won't be dory man. That's the engine mount out the way. Next job, unclip the engine cover, the cam belt cover. One there, one there. Oh, there's a 10mm there. Get that out. Got all the bolts in. I've got that bolt out the centre there. The clip's undone, and it should just pull straight up and dislocate from the bottom. So we want that line there to line up with that little line there. It's a tiny little mark. I'll paint mark them just so they're easy to see. And they line up. And there's also one underneath here. There's a little like pointy thing which lines up with the line in the back of here. I'll show you. I've tried to put a little white paint marker right at the top so you can see it a bit better. So just line up. Both of them need to line up at the same time. So that's there. Is that one lined up? That top one lined up as well. Lovely. So now we've got the lines lined up, top and bottom. I'll get that tensioner off. The tensioner is the middle one in there. That one there. That one. So slacken this 12mm off. Like that. And that should be just ping the tensioner off enough just to take the belt off. Once you get the tensioner out, so with these, I did find that the bolt came out and butted up against the chassis leg, but it was just slack enough so I could wiggle the tensioner and it would come out. It's tight on these. I have found if you take this 15 out here with this engine mount as well and drop the engine down enough, you can get in to the bottom of the water pump here a lot easier than you can from the top. Next job, I've got to pull the water pump out and it will make a mess. Even though I've drained the water, it will make a mess, they always do. The water pump will not come out. Cannot get it out past the chassis leg. So I've got to figure out a way of getting either the engine up enough to bring it out, or lower enough to bring it down, to drop it out. So you might notice it's pitch black dark outside now. It is now 6:30. The water pump is still not out. So, in the process of getting the water pump out, I have decided to pull the engine mounts off. I'm going to drop the engine down as far as I possibly can. So I wanted the drive shaft off past the driver's side so I could drop it down enough to wiggle the water pump out the bottom. As I was taking the bottom ball joint bolt out, it snapped. They're a steel bolt into a cast alley hub. So that resulted in lots of fanning about, trying to get it out with a pair of grips and heat. Ended up drilling it out, which took us 2 hours with a pistol drill, trying to be as straight and clean as we can. Managed to get that out, so managed to get the ball joint out. And now, bugger it, I'm going home. We'll get it sorted. So I'll come back to you tomorrow in the daytime. Back down on, it's Sunday, we've been cracking on. I haven't been filming because, and what I've done is I've pulled the drive shaft out, dropped the gearbox oil, pulled the drive shaft out, undone the dogleg mount, put my engine carrier on. I've got the water pump out, it's on the floor over there. Kimmy's down at the minute, she's going to be painting the brake calipers. To take the drive shaft out, you need to take this bottom ball joint bolt out. Be careful because the cast alley with a mild steel bolt, it can snap. That's what happened to mine. Well, this one, it snapped and I had to drill it out. That was fun. Took this engine mount off, which is a few, I think 13s or 15s, and a big pinch bolt here. There's two 30mm, or 10mm, one or two, 10mm I think. Hold this clamp, the clamp on, that clamp there. Those two 10mm there. That holds the drive shaft in. And then to drain gearbox oil, there's a big drain plug on here on this one. It's got a 6-speed manual in. That's the, I don't know how well you can, oh, I don't got a touch. There, that one there, that's the gearbox drain plug. So you want to drain that into a clean container like I did. And then we'll put that back in after we got the drive shaft in, because otherwise it will leak everywhere. So next job, drive shaft in. Where's that gone? It's over here. So what I did was I undid the cover as best I could, and I managed to drop the engine down enough, and I managed to wiggle it out. To be honest, I don't know how I did it, but I did it somehow. So now I've got to figure out how I get it back in. Well, that's the water pump in, and if I'm honest, I can't help you with how I did it, because I don't know how I did it. I kind of just, everything's the same place as it was when I pulled it out, so as low as I possibly can get it, the drive shafts and stuff out. With this slackened off so I can wiggle it around a bit. Being careful of this sensor and the wires and stuff. And all I did, I kind of put it up and wiggled it and it went in, so one of those. I don't know how it worked, so I've got the tensioner in. I fitted that in while it was down as well. I've got the new idler in. I put new Loctite on the bolts. They're nice and tight. It's all nipped up. Just putting the belt in. There's very little room. I've taken the engine, the support off, and using the jack again. I've wiggled it down there, wiggled it down onto the crank pulley. Now we need to wiggle it it runs on the back of here and the back of there, and around the front of over the two side of the water pump. Crank pulley tensioner, over the water pump, across the top of the cam, over the idler and back down to the thingy. There is also a tab on the bottom of the plastic cover. So you may be able to see there. See that tab right in the middle of it? Make sure you get your belt over that and onto the crank pulley, because I didn't the first time. I couldn't figure out why it wouldn't get anywhere near the right length. Got the belt tensioned up as well. And so down there's a fork. I can show you on this one. This is the old tensioner. So what you want to do is you want to get your 6mm Allen key into here with the nut, the bolts very slack, or not very slack, just slack. And what you want to do is you get your Allen key in there, put your Allen key in there, like that. You can turn that, but because that's fixed, it'll turn that. And you want that to line up with that. And that should be a belt tensioned. Should be. Make sure it is tensioned up. Should get it nice and taut. You want to make sure this side's tight, because this is the drive side, so you want this to be the tightest spot. Make sure this is taut properly. So once that's tensioned up, it is self-explanatory when you do it, so don't worry too much. I'll try to show you there, but it's kind of hard. Next job is you want to make sure lines are still lined up. And then what I want to do is get your 30mm and turn the engine over twice by hand. The reason why you do it twice is because for every one revolution of the crank, the cam does half a revolution. So 2 rotations of the crank means 1 full revolution of the engine. So I'll show you this. So I'll line that up there. So that's lined up there, and this one is lined up at the bottom. So that cam's moved 180 degrees, where the crank has moved 360 degrees. Another turn. It can be quite awkward to turn like that because you are fighting compression. So get that lined up there. And that should line up there. If it doesn't line up, take your belt off, retime it all up. So just move this onto the marks, move that bottom onto the marks, put your belt back on, try again. Check the tensioner is still tensioned up. Check your tension on the belt. Everything still lines up. Everything is okie dokie, there was no interference. Build up the top, so then I'm going to build up the top, so then when I go up a height it's easier to build up the bottom. But if you're doing it on the floor, it's just a reversal of where we took it apart, really. Yeah. To take the drive shaft out, you need to take this bottom ball joint bolt out. Be careful, because the cast alley with a mild steel bolt, it can snap. That's what happened to mine. Well, this one, it snapped and I had to drill it out. That was fun. Took this engine mount off, which is a few, I think 13s or 15s, and a big pinch bolt here. There's 2 30mm or 10mm, 1 or 2, 10mm I think. Hold this clamp, the clamp on, that clamp there. Those 2 10mm there. that holds the drive shaft in, and then to drain gearbox oil, there's a big drain plug on here on this one. It's got a 6-speed manual in. That's the, I don't know how you can, oh, I don't got a touch there. That one there, that's the gearbox drain plug. So you want to drain that into a clean container like I did. And then we'll put that back in after we got the drive shaft in, because otherwise it will leak everywhere. So just about got everything else back together. I haven't got the breaker stuff on because it gives them more access into here. Just putting the auxiliary belts on. I'm going to put the alternator one on first. Goes onto the alternator, around the idler or tensioner, onto the aircon pump. I've got the engine mounts back in, all them tightened up, belts are on. Be careful with this one because when I was doing it, it did slip off once and it nearly hit my fingers. It's not a fun thing to do, I know that for fact, so be careful with it. Put a new cut washer in here, clean it up. I've also make sure, before you forget, to close off your coolant drain. Next job, I'm putting the gearbox oil back in. The gearbox filler is on the, can you see that there? That is it there, it's 24mm. It's beside the passenger side drive shaft and the back of the diff. Just take that out, get yourself a bit of pipe and a funnel. This is a homemade one that I've got for doing stuff like this. And we'll just put the gearbox oil, what came out, back in. If you want to, you could go ahead and change your gearbox oil at the same time with the specified amount and the specified oil. But I'm just putting what was in back in because it looked clean enough and alright, so it'll be fine for the minute. It's only doing 85,000 miles this thing, so it's not too bad. So once you've got everything built up at the top, or once you've got everything underneath done, gearbox oil in, I'll give you a tip. Put your gearbox oil in a bath of hot water to get it nice and warm and thin. Makes it go in a lot easier. But leave it in for as long as you can, maybe an hour or so in hot water. Like boil the kettle, put some water in, get it nice and hot. So once you get that done, drop the car down, fill the antifreeze up. Just bring your header tank, let it gluggle away. Do that a couple of times while you're putting your intake back on. Your air pipes back, your intake, your airbox back on. Once you got them done, that's when you need to go and let your heart hit in your mouth. Heart in your mouth moment. You press the go button and hopefully she starts and runs hunky-dory. If you've done everything right and you turn it over by hand twice, you can turn it over more times if you want. You can turn it out 4 times, 8 times, 16 times, 154 times if you really want to make sure it's not going to contact. You're fine. Now I've just got to pack up, get everything out of here. I've got the car bleeding. You will notice when you go out for a drive, you get it at temperature, it will drink some more water. That's normal. Go for a run, put your heaters on full hot. I'll go over this in a second when I jump in the car. So as I was saying, I'm finished now. Turn your heaters onto full hot, turn them onto high. That'll let the water fully circulate through the system. Take it for a run. You will probably notice by the time, if I've got to run 20 miles home, so when it gets to temperature, it'll get rid of any airlocks in the system, and just check your water level the next morning. Do not open your header tank when the vehicle is hot, because it is under pressure and it could blow boiling hot water all over you. That's not fun at all. But yeah, so that's it. Time for home. I hope this video has been educational and helpful. It's been an absolute headache for me, but hopefully, because it's been a headache for me, it will help some of you guys out knowing what to do and how to get around it. Yeah, so hopefully, because I've taken the time to do this, and we know for next time it'll be a lot easier job, and it'll be a lot easier job for you. So yeah, if it has helped you, please like, subscribe, leave a comment, let us know in the comment section below. And yeah, like and subscribe, because I've got plenty of other content to come. Probably more Volvo V40 stuff, a few jobs to fix on it, like that. You want to go in, and also got my S40 and the wagons. So yeah, don't forget to check it out. Thank you, and ta-ra for now.